what we are going to do as a part of this session. Okay, so my name is Satyendra, and I come up with around 14 years of experience in business intelligence development and Power BI and MSBI domain. As a part of this session, we are going to talk about the a way to explore some of the features of Power BI, and we'll be talking about little in details that what we'll be doing in the full course as well, right? So to start with, I would like to know from everyone. Maybe we can start from Vishnu. Vishnu, like why Power BI? What you currently do in your current role, and why Power BI you are looking for? Yeah. So maybe Vishnu, you can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone. Actually, currently I'm working on testing,
Right.
so I just need to change to any domain. There is no big opportunities in testing.
Mhm. Are
So
you in the
recently,
manual test? Are you in the manual
yeah,
testing or automated testing?
I am in manual testing only.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm trying to learn one new tool. I just
Hmm.
know about the Power BI,
All right.
so I just come up with.
Okay, sure. No worries. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely help you out there. Yeah. Uh, Teja, could you please talk about yourself, your current role, and why Power BI?
Uh, Hi everyone, this is Teja. Actually, I started my career as a MicroStrategy developer.
Mhm.
So I have around 5 years of experience into MicroStrategy and to Tableau. Recently, I have learned Tableau, and currently I was working as a Tableau developer.
Mhm.
But if you see in the market, Power BI has, I mean, lot of openings. So
Right.
not only for opening, but I'm planning to learn as a total BI developer. So end to end, three tools I'm planning to learn. This is the Power BI. So
Okay, fine.
I have
Great.
I joined this session.
Great. How do you find Tableau so far?
Tableau means I was working as a developer. So in Tableau also I don't have that deep experience. I know till normal basic reports and also to how to create an extract and also this live connection and also schedule that and publishing the reports and creating dashboards.
Mhm.
Something in Tableau also I have to. I have to improve much because
Okay,
Tableau has much can depend on calculations.
correct,
So I'm
correct.
learning that. So
Okay,
in parallelly, I will learn this Power BI and I will move on to Power BI also. So that is my
okay,
plan.
okay. Great, great to know that. Yeah, Srinivas, could you
Thank you.
please? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Srinivas, could you please talk about yourself and why Power BI?
Yeah, sure. Hi, all. So I have around 9+ years of experience into IT domain. So currently I'm working as a manual tester only in telecom domain. So I have been looking for different tools like over the time past 1 year. So I have done Salesforce admin and self-paced learning in Udemy. So I
Mhm.
find it little bit useful, but since even after that we need some real-time scenarios to work with to understand it. So even after Salesforce admin, like I needed to learn Salesforce development part of it, and there was no proper guidance for me. But yeah, so since my continuous search on the latest trends in tools, like what to learn for better future for down the line 5 to 10 years, like so
Mhm.
data analytics got my eye, and then I was going through different options like Tableau and Power BI, and even the data scientist programs offered by Simplilearn and other things.
Mhm.
So as of now, to start with Power BI, looks like a good thing for me. So I thought like I'll start with Power BI. So later on, I'll uh, learn the other tools and data analytics part, like in a end-to-end, like a PG diploma or master's kind of program, so that
Mhm.
we will get complete knowledge. And based on my experience, like I will be completing like 10 years in the next year. So I would like to settle down in a senior position in the analytics side actually.
Correct, correct.
So to start
Completely
with,
understand.
Power BI will give me good understanding. That's what I'm thinking. And like Teja said, currently market seems to be very good for Power BI to get into.
Mhm.
And maybe if I get if I have good luck, I'll be able to change in my current company itself, for a Power BI project. So that's the reason I'm looking for it.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Shivam, could you please talk about yourself and why Power BI? I can see two Shivams here. Shivam Sharma. Okay, fine. Ankita, maybe what about you? Why Power BI?
Sir, we can use Power BI for data visualization like pie chart, and through data visualization we can uh,
Hello, hello. Is my voice is coming?
Yes, 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 Shivam, we can hear you.
Yeah. Actually, Power BI Microsoft is interactive data visualization and analytics tool for business intelligence,
Mhm.
and we can use as data from wide range
Mhm.
in system cloud and read dashboard and track
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, I can see some disturbance there, so I'll just put on like everyone on mute, and then maybe we can start. Yeah,
Okay.
all right. Okay, I just muted everyone. So let's do to just get started. I mean, uh, why Power BI? What I believe in, like in current scenario in market, there are number of tools, right? So as we just heard about Tableau, then Power BI, MicroStrategy is quite old tool, and then we have couple of more tools like Spotfire, ClickView is there, Oracle BI is there, SAP BI, or these things are there already there in the market. But why Power BI? I think. Um, Srinivas, you correctly mentioned that why, I mean, nowadays Power BI is getting a lot of demand in the market. The reason being, there are a number of factors. So why Power BI is getting a boost in the market? Because number one, it is a Microsoft tool, and number two is like the cost of Power BI is quite lesser than other available tools in the market. Even if you compare it with Tableau or any other tool, the cost of Power BI, I would say it is the lowest which it starts with, right? But that doesn't mean that it has the minimum cost. The reason why I'm saying that it starts with the lowest, the reason being, if you go for the just pro capacity, right, there are different plans in Power BI. If you go for pro capacity and just the desktop tool which comes 100% free, right, there is a just $9 per, I think $9.99 per month charge. That's a minimum charge what Microsoft offers. But if you go for Tableau or any other tool, there is a huge cost associated with it, even for the infrastructure. So for the companies who are either small segment or large segment or mid segment, they are going for Tableau, right? Only, sorry, they are going for Power BI. Only the organizations which are quite of big MNCs and they don't worry or they don't think too much on the cost factor, they are going for other tools. But because Power BI starts with the lowest package, right? People, organization are trying to kind of work with Power BI first. Now we talked about that why Power BI. Now let me just talk about some couple of products what Power BI offers, right? So let me just share my screen for a minute. We'll just go to this website which you might have already seen, Data Visualization Power BI. Now the couple of products what comes with Power BI, right? Power BI is not just one product. I would say if you go for Power Platform on Microsoft, it's not just the one tool. Power BI itself comes up with couple of layers or the products, which is like Power BI Desktop. Then you got Power BI Pro, Premium, Mobile, Embedded, and Power BI Report Server. Now um, over here, if you just look at the Power BI Desktop, right? So this is the main tool which we are going to use for development perspective. So when we say development perspective, basically, whatever development we do in Power BI, we do it on Power BI Desktop, and this comes 100% free. So you can download it from powerbi.microsoft.com or from Google, right? Just explore. You'll come to this link, and then you can download it. So that is what Power BI Desktop tool is. That is free of cost, and you can install anytime on any Windows platform. Then you got Power BI Pro and Premium. Do we have any idea that what are these? Power BI Pro and Premium? Anyone?
No.
Mhm. Okay. So Power BI Pro and Premium, actually, these are the plans, right? When I say plans, basically Pro is the lowest plan what Power BI offers. And within this plan, right, if you notice the pricing, let me show you. So it starts with $9.99 per user per month, right? You just need to invest this much to start with Power BI. And even if you are if you want to learn Power BI, then itself like free, you can install Power BI Desktop, and this Pro license you get for 60 days free of cost. You need not to invest even a single rupee, correct? So as a learner, you can use it for free of cost for 60 days. Now, in case you are going for a company or maybe for a uh, you know a commercial project, then this is the charge what Microsoft is looking for. So by investing this much only, Power BI can be used as a tool in your organization. And that is a beauty. That's why a lot of organizations are going for it. Even if you go for, if you are looking for Tableau, let me just show you the cost for Tableau. Cost of Tableau. Just look at it. It's $70 per user per month, right? Which is around 7 times costly than the Power BI. And that is the biggest reason why Tableau is not being used. I mean, big organizations are still using Tableau, but small segment organizations are moving towards Power BI. So that's a major difference. Now, other than this, there are few features which are really good in Power BI, right? So the other one which we're talking about, the premium capacity, right? This is the premium capacity. And with premium capacity, your Power BI desktop and web remains the same, right? I'll talk about in a minute that what is Power BI web. But with this, you get a lot of capabilities from Power BI. Now the capabilities like you can do ETL within the Power BI environment, right? You get a lot of uh, enterprise environments or different tools over here through which you can itself create data flows, right? uh, Data flows like in order to get data from several sources, and then you could start doing the reporting. So I'll just show you. These are the different components which are available online on Power BI, like report, paginated report, dashboard, data sets, right? So with this, you get data flow option as well. Let me just move to another workflow, another workspace. Over here, this is the data flow. Now, this is the biggest. difference between any other tool, BI tool in the market and Power BI. This helps you to create any data source online, right? Now, any data source means whatever data sources you see in the Power BI. I'll show you. Power BI desktop. It's just opening. Okay. So meanwhile it is opening, let me just take you through this one. So what I was saying, this is the online version of Power BI, and over here I just clicked on create new data flow. So these are the different data types what you are getting. Like you can connect to Excel file, you can get to folder, JSON file, right? SQL Server, IBM DB2, all these tools you can connect online. And now this depends on the plan which you are on. If you are on Pro capacity, this is the Pro account. If you're on a premium account, you get a lot of space for data itself. So all the processing, it's all cloud based. So all the processing will be used by online Power BI, that is app.powerbi.com. They will not be using your system resources, they will be using cloud resources, and you can process up to files of 1 GB over here for each report. So that makes very strong capacity for any report or dashboard. If you connect to 1 GB of data in Tableau on your system will get slower. The reason being it will utilize your system RAM for all processing and calculation. But in case of Power BI, what happens? If you are using web service, it is going to use the web service or the cloud of Power BI, and then everything will be done online. It will not utilize your system. Now, same thing goes here. If you're on Power BI desktop, this is the Power BI desktop tool. And over here also you are getting all those different sources where you can connect your data. So I just clicked on show more. This is the list of all the data sources which are available through desktop. You can connect to any of these and get data into Power BI. Right? Guys, feel free to ask question anywhere if you have in between. Then another thing in terms of products, if you see, we got Power BI Mobile, Power BI Embedded, and Power BI Report Server. Any idea about Power BI Mobile? Anyone? What is Power BI Mobile?
Maybe it is compatible in mobile also, like where we can generate the reports and view the reports through mobile.
Right. So like as I mentioned in the beginning, that for any development you will be using Power BI Desktop.
Right.
Desktop is the main tool to develop reports, dashboards, or uh, data flows and everything. But Power BI Mobile is for consumers, for users, end users. So
Users, yeah.
whatever report has been developed over here, you can see that in Power BI Mobile. So Power BI Mobile is nothing but the web version of Power BI. You can open that in your mobile, or you can download an app, a mobile app from, I think mobile app is there for Power BI. You can download that and see the reports in your
Right.
mobile or tablet or handheld devices, right? But you will not be able to develop a report there.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what is Power BI Embedded?
In Power BI Embedded, we can visual our data uh, and reports in application.
Right. So application means, let's say there is some third party application. Let's say your employee, some organization has their employee portal. Now, a report which is developed in Power BI, that report can be shown into that application. right? It is not necessary that every time you
Okay.
need to go to app.powerbi.com, right? You can get the
Okay.
embedded URL of this report and show that into your application. So that is the meaning of Power BI embedded. Correct. Okay, now what is Power BI report servers? Anyone?
Then
So,
our
ma-
data is ready. Uh,
so this is where we
we can
publish all
report.
our reports, and we can store the reports. Maybe.
Right. So this is the place where we publish all the reports. Now,
Yeah, like
okay,
web portal where display manage report and create
correct,
UI.
correct. So let me just put everyone on mute again. I think Shivam, it is your phone that is creating some phone or system. Yeah, thank you. So I was talking about Power BI report server. So this Power BI report server is basically the place where you publish all the reports. Now there is little difference. We can publish all the reports on app.powerbi.com as well, right? What I mean is I can just close it for a minute, and this is the place where all my reports are. So I'll just go to my workspace, and you can see that all the reports which I have created, they are here, right? This is app.powerbi.com. Now the product which is mentioned here, Power BI report server, I would say that is very similar to what we are looking at right now, right? But this is the cloud version of it. It is called web service of Power BI. This Power BI report server is a installable software that is provided to the companies who want to create their own server, right? Now, when I say own server means over here you need to understand the difference between cloud and on-prem solution. Cloud means solutions like this, which you can access through internet from anywhere outside your company, right? If I want, I can open app.powerbi.com on my personal system. I can open it from anywhere in the world if I have internet connectivity. That is cloud. But report server, when we say report server or a on-prem solution, it is within the company firewall. So if I've connected to the intranet of my company, then only this will work. Otherwise, it will not work. Or I need VPN or anything so that I can access my company portal. Then this thing will work. Otherwise, it will not work. Right? So that is the difference between Power BI server and report, a web service. This is also used to publish the report, and this is also used to publish the report. The only thing is this is cloud based, and this will be within the premises of a company, any company, right? So over here in this scenario, everything will be managed by that company. And in this scenario, if you're using app.powerbi.com, anything, when I say anything, basically it's related to security, it's related to refreshing all the data sources and all, though you need to schedule that, but everything will run properly, the service will remain up. That is managed by Microsoft, right? So in this scenario you are paying for pro capacity, and in this scenario when you are using report server, it will be managed by your system. So the cost difference will be there. So that is what generally we do on product perspective on Power BI. But again, when we say like Power BI desktop is a tool which comes free of cost and we can develop reports over here, then what are the different features which are available, right? So as you see, like as I mentioned, like these are the different options through which you can get data into Power BI. Now you can connect to your Excel file. It's straightforward. You can just connect to any of, let me just go back to a folder. Maybe let's say test data. In the same way, the way I'm connecting to Excel file right now, you can connect to SQL Server or any database as well. Now over here, it shows the number of Excel sheets which I have. So I just connected to one of those. I can preview the data over here. And then I have options like load or transform, right? Can anybody tell me that what is the difference between load and transform? What does load mean and what does transform mean?
So what we are doing in transform, we can change the data like what we need. We can filter the data based on your data, or you can say the data massaging on the transform and load. It will directly load, and we can visualize the data based on our requirement, right?
Right. So load means you don't want to do any kind of changes or data messaging, as you said. But transform means it will give you option to kind of make changes, right? But whatever option you select, you are not. Yeah, whatever option you select, you're not limited to that. You can still go back to the other option like load or transform anytime. So for example, over here, we have just clicked on transformed, and this is the transform tab which we are on right now. We can see all other options related to the data which we have just loaded into the Power BI, right? I can see all the fields coming from my data. Now, good thing over here is like Power BI records each and every step. So over here, if you see, it shows different applied steps. Now, the first step says the source. As of now, the steps which have been created, they have been created automatically. I have not done anything, correct? So this is what has happened automatically as soon as we loaded the data in Power BI. So in the source, it shows, if you go here to the syntax which is written here, it says excel.workbook, which means I'm connecting to Excel source, then file content, and this is the location where I'm getting my file from, right? This is the file name, and this is the extension of file which I'm connecting to. And under this file, we got two sheets, sheet one, and then this is another sheet. Out of this, it shows false and true. That's I mean, whether it is hidden or it is visible. So that is all we have connected. Now, if you just read kind, it talks about that this is my sheet, actual sheet, but this is the defined name. So it's a kind of, you can say, in Excel, you have named ranges, correct? What is named range in Excel? Do we know that? Is everybody aware that what is named range in Excel?
Between cell to cell, like F15 to Z15 or something like that.
Yeah, that is a Excel range, right? That's a range.
Oh, okay.
But what is named range?
No idea.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So whatever like answer I got, like let's say we select some range from X1 to let me just open Excel. Okay. So for example, let's say this is the range which I selected. The range of this is like F4 to this is L17. That's a range which I have selected. Now in Excel, we have option that I can give a name to this, right? Named ranges, the range and the name. So maybe I can give, let's say, test. Okay. Now, even if I'm anywhere in my sheet, anywhere in my workbook, let's say I have added three more sheets. I'm here. If I go to this place and I select test, it will take me to the same position again, because this was the range to which I gave a name, test, right? I can go to any place and then I select that particular name, it will select that particular space once again. Now, if there is some data within this range, I can directly select that data. That is what named range means. And that is exactly, it will help you either in Tableau or in Power BI both. You can select your named ranges also, right? So this is a defined name. It's a kind of named range only. The second step, which is navigation, it shows like it has filtered out of source. It has filtered the item, which is sheet 1, and it is showing you the data from the sheet 1 as of now, right? Over here, you see like it's a column 1, column 2, column 3. It shows as columns, and the fields are like field 1, field 2, field 3. They are coming over here. So if you know the data, you will, you can identify whether these are the headers in row number 1, and over here it is just the logical columns what Power BI is representing at this moment. Next step which automatically got added is like promoted headers. So my field 1, field 2, they have been moved as a header now, and I can see data from row number 1 to further. So my data is coming from row number 1 now. And then change type is for the data type of each field, like field 1, field 2, field 3. It shows the data type of those, right? Now these steps were added automatically. Now if you want, you can also perform these, because every time this will not happen automatically. So you need to know that how to do it, or like you really need to kind of know if you want to make any changes here, or let's say you want to do any further changes, further transformation, how to do that. So there are a number of ways. Either if you see the query which you see here over here, the language, I'll just click on advanced editor. You will see all those operations which have happened over here. So number 1 was source. This is the source file which we have connected to. Second one is the filtered sheet 1. So that is what happened in navigation. Third one was promoted headers. So that is what this one. The fourth one is change data type. That is the last step. So all 4 steps which were recorded over here mentioned into this advanced editor as well, right? You can see the complete code over here. So in case you want to make any changes, if you know this language is generally called active query, right? So if you know this, you can directly type in here, or if you don't know that, you can add those steps from this particular page as well, and further transform your data. So for example, I'll just do some steps over here. Do we have any date column? Okay, for example, this one, this is the date column, right? But unfortunately, because I added this data from Excel, not sure, but over there, this date field is coming as text, right? Now let's talk about this data type, basically the data types in Power BI. So over here, if you see, if you just click on this ABC, or if you get 1, 2, 3 over here, you just click on this particular icon, you will see all available data types in Power BI. So it's like decimal number. You can change any number to decimal number. You have fixed decimal number, so the like currency and all. Then whole number, it's 1, 2, 3, right? Without decimals. Then percentage, date time, date, only time, date time, time zone, duration, text, Boolean numbers, and binary, and using local. So local means it's a kind of, if you use local, which means the language, right? You can convert that language also. Right now all the options which you see here, they are in English, but if you change the local or location type of data, so the English word language you get here, it will get converted into the local language where you are working. Local language, I'm not talking about in Hindi or any Indian language, but country specific. So it can get converted into Chinese, or it can get converted into like Malaysian language. So that is what it works accordingly. You can change these text into another languages. Now let's go back to this date field, what we were talking about. So as of now, it is coming as text. I have an option of converting this into date. I can just select date option or date time. So it will get converted into date time. Now what it says, change type column. The selected column has an existing type conversion. Would you like to replace the existing conversion or preserve the existing conversion and add a new conversion as a separate step, right? So what it basically talking about, separate step, right? If you follow this step over here, change type, for field 6, it has already converted that into text. So it was giving that pop-up regarding, do we want to replace this existing step or do we want to add a new step? So it was about that. So if I just click on replace the existing step, it will convert this segment from text to date time. So I'll just do it. Within the same step, it has converted that into date time. So if you see here, it has recorded that step automatically, right? Now, maybe some of the dates which were there, system is not able to convert, so it has given error for those. But for the dates it was able to convert, it has converted that, right? Now, this error could be because of many reasons. One reason could be like the date format. If it is, let's say, DDMMYYYY, like Indian for date format, then definitely it will give the error over here. So we need to kind of convert that into proper format and then we can do it. So let me just convert this into text once again. I can change it from here if you know how to edit this step. So I'll just change it to text. Text and close bracket. It got converted into text once again. Now I'll follow the next step, which was saying add new step. So I'm not changing over here, I'm adding a new step. So over here you will notice there is new step which got added. If you go to the change type, it will remain same as text, but over here it has added a new step, and in this it has converted only date time, right? Only this field got changed. So these are the number of steps what you can perform, and accordingly over here you will get in advanced editor another step added, right? So if you want, you can change it from here. If you want, you can change it from here, or you can directly operate from here. So the number of things can be done. Now, for example, you need to apply filters. So certainly you can go there and apply filter like Excel, the way you do in Excel. Number filters, remove filter. Then you got, if it is a text field, you will get text filters, right? This tab is very close to Excel, what generally we operate in. All filters, then number of operations which are available here. For example, let's say I'm working on this data, phone number. I want my extensions to be in one column and remaining number in another column. How can we do that? Either we split this column, write any calculated field. I can do that using this split column field by delimiter, by number of characters. So maybe if I want to do it by delimiter, I'll just select it here. Now it will ask me that what type of delimiter I want to use, right? It could be colon, it could be comma, whatever comes here, use that. So in my case, let's see if I use a space. I want 516 in one column and remaining text in another column. So I can do that, something like this, space. And if I do that, you will notice the field 13 got splitted into two fields. One is 13.1, another is 13.2. And the text of that field got separated. I mean, first characters are coming into one field, and after a space, whatever was there, that is coming into the second field. This is one of the transformation what I did. Similarly, you can apply many others. So over here, like by position, by number of character, then you have group by, that is used for likewise you do in SQL Server group by. So you can do that here too. Then further transformation like pivoting or like use first row as header, use headers as first row. You can create pivot tables or unpivot over here. So all these options are available. Right now I'm not doing all those things. We can certainly change some of the fields into numbers. Maybe let's say decimal. Now, whatever changes we are doing, for each you will see that one step is getting added, right? Now, once you're done with all the transformations, right? As of now, I'm just showing you all these. And please feel free to ask any question if here you have any. Once you're done with all the transformations, right? You can just click on File, Close and Apply. Once you do that, you'll go back to this particular page. Here we go. So it says these many rows has been loaded with these many errors. These are errors could be because of those dates what we were trying to convert, and there were a lot of errors. So it could be those errors. I'm not focusing on that right now, but just wanted to show that once your data gets loaded into Power BI, then you come to this page. If it was transform, then you will come here, this page, and if it is load, then you will come directly to this page. This page allows you to kind of play with your data and create some of the visualizations, right? So for example, anywhere you see the sigma sign, that means it is your measure, right? What is measure and dimension? Can anyone tell me that? What is a measure field? What is a dimension field?
We are creating calculated field, calculated column in measure.
I didn't get your complete question. Could you please repeat?
No, it was the answer for measure.
Okay.
That we do calculated we generate calculated column in measure.
See, what I would say, like anything which is in numerical in nature and is used for calculations will be
Okay.
known as measure, right? And things which are like categorical in nature and text in as a data type, that will be your dimension,
Okay, thank you.
right? But I have a question now. If I ask like what is date, is it a measure or it's a dimension? What would you say?
That is a dimension. That is not a measure.
Correct. So date is, though I mean people might get confused that these are the numbers or numerical. No, but date is dimension. It's not a measure, right? In several BI tools or several tools, there is a specific treatment for date. So we create date dimension if it is not there, right? So date is a dimensional field. Now, once we get all our data and we know like these are my measures, I can create charts and all using these measures, then we can go by, some of these charts over here and create visualizations. Another thing, like over here, you might get little confused with the field names. These are getting fields. In case you want to add a real or real data, you can certainly rename your headers or let me just connect a better data so we can directly start doing some visualization. Close and apply, get data. This time I will directly load. I will not go to transform tab. I'll directly load into Power BI. Okay, so we just kind of loaded. Because we loaded this time, so we are directly came on this tab. Had it been transformed, we would have gone to another tab. Now over here, as many data sources you connect or as many data sets you create in Power BI desktop, they will be listed over here. So for example, this is the orders tab which we just created. Now anytime you want to kind of transform this, you can right click and click on edit query. It will take you to transform tab. This is the same tab. And over here, because my data was formatted quite well, you can see we are getting numerical, text, even date fields are already there. So we can work well with this data. Now, let me just do one thing over here. Using, let's say, order date, I'll just create one more field. We'll duplicate column. It will create one more column with the order date. It says copy. And I can, out of this, I can change this into year or month, whichever I want. So these type of transformations are also possible over here. So for example, year, I will have year of this particular date like this. So from order date, we have just extracted year, right? Just for demo purpose, I just did it. But otherwise, if you want to know in Power BI, we can directly, because it's a date field, right? It will automatically show you year, month, and quarter, all these things. We'll just go back there. Yeah. So this was the order date. Over here, you can see under date hierarchy, you got year, quarter, month, day. It is automatically generated by Power BI. We have not done it. With a proper data type of date, it will automatically create that for you. So that's the beauty of Power BI as a tool. Now let's go back and look into some of the visualizations. So as I mentioned earlier, anywhere you have sigma sign, that means it's your measure. So now in order to create visualization, you can just select a particular chart. Maybe let's say if I select a trend, it will show a blank control over here. As of now, there is no fields, no data on top of it. But as soon as you added, you are getting like access, legend, value, these things over here. And this is the place where you drag and drop your fields, right? This is the one way of creating the charts. Other way will be, I just deleted that. Other way will be, you just select your fields. Let's say category I selected. You got the control. Category will automatically come here. See, I've got the categories over here like furniture, office supplies, or technology. Or maybe like I selected date. So let me just select the date once again. So as of now, I'm getting year. I don't get anything else as of now. It's just the years. What I can do is I can go ahead and select any measure field because date is dimension. So I'll just select any other measure field. For example, profit. As soon as I select profit, I can get right. So I can see the trend of different years for profit. Let's say you want to change it into months or any other format. You got this hierarchy or drill down options. You can do that. So it's a quarterly format, or maybe you can see it like this, like quarters and other formats over here. If you want to see it into months, are you guys able to hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually there is
Yeah.
some disturbance outside, but I hope you can
Yeah.
hear. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We are able to hear. Yeah.
All right. So these are the different ways you can drill your data down. Now, because I added hierarchy, date hierarchy, I was able to see all these factors like year, quarter, month. Let's say you don't want quarter, you can just cut it out from the view, or maybe day. You just keep year and month. And then you drill down. You can see all your month and year combination, right? So creating visualization is not a big thing in Power BI. It's very simple, it's very easy. The good thing, or I would say the real strength of Power BI is in the transformation tab, right? If you want to join your data, if you want to kind of write a SQL query, right? SQL query means you need to connect to SQL Server and then you can connect to the query portion. Like connect to the SQL Server database and you can write your query over here. So you would be able to write joining condition or anything, and then accordingly you will get the filter data into Power BI. Now, publishing or creating anything will be like so simple here. For example, we just created this trend chart. If you want to convert this into pie, you just select the pie chart. It will automatically get converted. I can copy paste. I got the two views over here. I can convert this into maybe, let's say, trend one, right? Trend was already there, but yes, we can create into some other chart. Uh, for example, if you want to create map, right? You have the mapping options over here. You got map and you got field map. So let's say if I select field map and I just drag it like this, and then I need to take the fields accordingly. As of now, there is no field. This time I'm going to drag and drop the fields, right? You have both the option, either you select or you just drag and drop. For example, I drag, let's say, states on the location, and then I want to plot maybe sales amount. I'll put it on legend. So for each state, you will get legend by sales. It might not be an appropriate view, but by using these, we can create different views over here. So for each state, you are getting legend by sales. Let me go down. Tooltip latitude. Okay. Yeah, this one is better. Let's use this one. So over here, right, this is not the field map. This is the normal map I'm using. So for each state of US, you are getting this circle based out of the size of sales. If sales is high, you are getting a bigger circle. If sales is low, you are getting the smaller circle. Now, another thing is, if anybody has worked on Tableau, in Tableau, what happens? You create individual charts and then you combine those into a dashboard. Over here in Power BI, you have option to kind of create multiple charts in same dashboard. You need not to do it later. You are doing it right here, right? So it's very quick to kind of create visualizations over here. Now, another thing, for any chart, let's say you want to see in the maximize view, you just click on this one, you will be able to see the details, right? Rest of the tooltip and everything will work as it is. You can add multiple pages, means multiple dashboards in one workbook. So that is how it is possible. Now, another thing, what I'll do, I'll just publish this in a minute. If you just need to click on publish, it will ask for the credentials. You need to enter your username and password. Okay, let me just save it on the desktop first of all. Sorry. it is asking that which workspace I want to publish, right? So workspaces, I'll come in a minute, but for now I'm selecting my workspace and I'll just publish it. It says publishing demo to Power BI. Now I can open it from online. I'll just click on it. It will show you the same dashboard what we just created into Power BI web service, right? And this is from here. If you want, you can share it with anybody. This embedded report or generate URL. You can just share that URL and you can share that report with anybody. See, creating, publishing, it was very simple. Now the real power of web service is uh, I'll just go back to workspace. Now these are the workspaces, like the places where you create a report or save reports. So I publish that into my workspace. These are the shared workspaces which are shared with other team members also. But my workspace was the place where I published it. So you can see all other reports also. Now with each report, whenever you publish, your reports get published. So this blue icon which you see, that is report. With that, there is a data set of this report also, that is the red color here, right? Now I'll just go back. I'll just click on this data set, or let me just do one thing. Let me just go to new report and I will select one data set here from here only. The whatever we published today, demo. I'll select this one and I'll say create. This time I'm on web service, not on Power BI desktop. You are getting the same look and feel as we used to get into Power BI desktop. You are able to see all the data sources, data sets what we created here. You are able to see visualization. You are able to see different filters and different tabs over here what we saw in Power BI desktop as a tool. Let me go back to the Power BI desktop. Right? So this was the, sorry, this is the Power BI desktop. So this is the look and feel, same look and feel what you get on Power BI web service as well. So you can, if you have data set already available, or if you need to create data flow and then data set, you can create those reports automatically. Now let's look for few more things. Let's see if I go to dashboard. I want to create a dashboard. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so these were the data sets what we created, right? The report and the data set. Now over here on the data set, let me just click on it and it says get quick insights, right? As soon as you do quick insights, it Power BI itself is going to create some of the reports for you. It's trying to kind of search for insights. As soon as it will get those, it will show that it's ready with the some insights. I'll show you in a minute. So it says view insights. You need to just click on it. It will show you all the individual reports which are possible based out of this demo data set. You can see these are automatically created by Power BI. We didn't create it. Now, good thing over here is you can add these into your a new dashboard. For example, I just click on this pin sign. It says, where would you like to pin to? New dashboard or the existing dashboard? I'll just click on new dashboard, or maybe I can give it another name, demo underscore dashboard. Pin. To the same place, I want to pin maybe this one. I'll take this one also. or I'll add few more chart, maybe this one. Okay, once you pin all those, you can go to dashboard. So this is the place where you can see that dashboard has already been created for you. If you are in a workspace, you can see that. I'll just go back to workspace. Over here you will see it's a demo dashboard which just got created within 2 minutes using Power BI web service only. Let me just maximize it to 100%. Right? This is the dashboard. We have not created these charts. These charts were created by Power BI itself. And we are able to kind of put it into one dashboard and share it with anybody the way we were doing the report what we published into Power BI desktop, right? So either you create in Power BI desktop or you create over here, you can still share the report with anybody. One good thing over here with these dashboards, whatever you create using Quick Insight is like you can ask simple questions. So NLP you might have heard, natural language processing. Power BI can help you with that also. So for example, I can just simple type my question like bar charts by category, right? Bar charts. Even I have not typed it correctly. Bar chart by category. So as soon as we do, let me profit percentage by years. Okay, it's a profit percentage by years, or let's say if I type profit by category, whatever I'm typing over here, Power BI is itself creating charts for me. Not sure whether you have already seen it, but it is creating charts for me. Now even I can create scatter plot between profit and sales for categories, right? Scatter plot between profit and for category. So it has created it for only technology. If I say categories, okay. Not sure, it's not able to do it for all the categories, but just for one category it is showing you. This is showing for technology. Let me create maybe pie chart for ship mode. So you need to know your data well and profit. So you can see ship mode and profit. It has automatically created that. If you want, you can simply, pin this visualization into dashboard. You just typed your question, chart has been created. You can add that into the existing dashboard. Now you go back to the dashboard, you will see that pie chart over here. It got added into the dashboard. Do you find it useful? Guys, are you finding it useful?
Yep. Yep.
Right. I'll type another question. Let's say forecast sales forecast for 20 22. Salesforce order ES. No, it's not. It has not created that. Sales forecast for ES 2021. Okay, it's showing the average forecast only right now. Anything which is possible in Power BI desktop over here, right? You can ask those questions and the system will create that for you over here. Now I'll just sales trend. That's what I will add into the dashboard again. I'll go back to dashboard. We can see that trend over here. So these things are possible. Sharing it with anybody is very easy. You need not to do anything. Like once you do this, you need not to do anything. There is no publishing. Nothing is required. It's already published. You just need to share it with anybody, whoever you want. You can, if it is on Power BI itself, you can add their email address. If not, you can share their this URL with them. If they have access, they will be able to see it, right? So whether it is Power BI desktop or Power BI web service, because web service is very useful as we go, not only in terms of this functionality what I shown you, but in order to connect different sources, create data flows, because Power BI web service is used as an ETL tool also. So it is a full package which will help you in order to grow into data analytics or data, data visualization field. So both desktop as well as web service, if you know, you can definitely get plenty of options in the market, right? So any questions as of now? What we covered in just last 1 hour, I just wanted to kind of show you all major capabilities. But as we go in the regular course, we'll be talking about details in all of these.
I mean, tool-wise, yeah, it was pretty much clear. But I have one question. So, as you said, since still there are some big organizations are using Tableau, right? So, is that because of the data? Like they have a lot of data to process. Is that like big enterprises? They still would like to go with the Tableau only, or is there any chance for Power BI in enterprise area also?
No, yeah, there are many organizations who are using both Power BI and Tableau both tool, right? It depends on organization budget as well as their their uses. So I like the organizations like Optum, United Health Group, right? Initially they were on Tableau, but now in couple of projects they are using Power BI. In couple of projects they are still using Tableau. So it depends on the project requirement also, not just the cost, but the requirement also, because you might have seen the kind of transformation capability Power BI has, Tableau doesn't have that,
Yeah.
right?
So
Tableau
in
doesn't
this
have,
case,
yes.
yeah. So in this case, this added capability of transformation means that it doesn't require any ETL tool, or we still need to use like Informatica and these power ETL tools.
No, see, again, this
It depends
ETL
on the data limit. Yeah.
data limit, right? Now even data limit also, in if you go for premium capacity, you get unlimited storage with Azure backup, right?
Okay.
With Azure backup you get unlimited storage. But now let's say if your priority is ETL, then Power BI will not be a tool you will be using, right? Then you will go for
Right.
a ETL tool. But
Right.
if your priority is visualization and little bit ETL is required, then it's a best tool to use,
Right.
right? So it depends on the requirement to
Requirement.
requirement. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Got it. So my basic question was like, even it is suitable for the enterprise organizations also, even for the big data kind of thing, right?
Exactly. I can tell
Yeah.
you out of my one of the project which we are handling at this moment, we have a data around 1.5 TB, right?
Okay.
And we are using Power BI as a reporting tool and the data flows which I was talking about. So there is a lot more to cover actually in data models. Data flows. In data flows, you can connect to gateways. I'll just show you. Under setting, you have gateway, manage gateway. So let's say I need to get some data from your system to this Power BI cloud. Using this gateway, I can do that. So by using that gateway, we are fetching data from the client system. Then we are in data flows, we are transforming that data and then we are doing the reporting. So it's an end-to-end solution what we have implemented over 1.5 TB data and whole soul on Power BI,
Okay.
right? For file storage, we are using Azure Data Lake. So whatever files our data flow creates, data flow of Power BI, we are storing those files into Data Lake.
Okay.
Right. So
Yep.
it has extensible, capability and scalability as well, because Azure is a backup for this, and any storage over here, it uses Azure itself. So backend wise, it is very strong.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it. Yeah.
The only thing is like the place where I see it's not that good is the visualization. I mean, the look and feel of visualization is not that good as Tableau has. Right. Even if you go for this one, get more visuals. There are a lot of third parties or many companies who are developing add-ins for Power BI. So over here, you can see these charts and all. You can add these into Power BI and do the visualization. For example, if I add one of those, let's say get more visuals, and I add this word cloud, right? If you know the uses of word cloud is basically used to show the frequency or maybe the volume of a word, like how many times it has been used in the overall population. So maybe if I just add, let's say, state, where is state? This one, and right. So you'll see this is not correct at this moment because New York is a one word, right? But it has broken down that into multiple. It shows new separately and York will be separate, right?
Yeah.
So that's a drawback, but these things are very easy to use. These are the third party tools. It's not the native Power BI tool. It's third party with tool which I have just added over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question?
Yeah. Like, what are the profiles we have in Power BI, like in the market, like Power BI developer, admin, and architect, something will be there, right?
So definitely, like Power BI developer is the first one through which you start your career in Power BI. And then Power BI architect is there, Power BI specialist is there. And of course, I mean, if I say consultant, that's the kind of overall role what a person can play, right? Now, if you have little bit understanding of Azure, then the combination of Azure and Power BI, it becomes a very strong role, right? So using that, you can go for cloud architect as well, Power BI consultant, as well as technical project manager kind of roles there. So they play a very important role in the market.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's it from my side. Yeah.
No problem. Anybody else? Any question?
Hi, I have one question regarding this data. If you see in Tableau, we can use like extract connection if the database was taking more time. Likewise, here there is any option like that.
Yep. So let's say if you're connecting to SQL Server, we have an option. You have import and direct query. So import means it will import that data into Power BI and then you will be doing all the visualization. Direct query is it will be directly, it's a kind of live connection in Tableau, direct query.
Okay.
And import is like extract. So you just create that replica of data into local system right now, and you can do the visualization. Once you publish this and refresh that, then it will bring new data from source to Power BI. So import is extract, and direct query is live connection, if we compare it with Tableau, right? Any other question? All right, guys, if we don't have any question, I mean, I have already created that group. If you have any question, please drop in there. I'll be happy to answer your questions. If we don't have any question anymore, I think we can drop, and feel free to reach out to me for any further information.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep. All right then. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.